I just wanted to give our recent relocation testimony. Um, so, last year we were trying to look into purchasing a new home and selling our old one, and it just wasn't the right time. And so we were going to try again in March or April this year. But right before Christmas, like the 22nd, so like right before Christmas, I got home and our furnace was out. And then we got our furnace back on, and then Christmas Day, one of our pipes in our front yard burst. And my stepdad got that to where it was just barely dripping. So we were going to be able to at least, turn the water on to shower and wash clothes, and then turn it back off when we weren't using it, which was, good enough for me. It was going to buy us some time. But then they left and we turned the water back on so that I could go shower, and then a pipe burst in the kitchen. Well, before that though, I was so distraught, like just when the pipe in the front yard burst. Being a homeowner is tough because you got to pay for all those repairs yourself. And so knowing that we are not good at saving money, and we did not have emergency funds, and that we had these repairs we were going to have to do, was really, really hard. And I was so stressed. But I had been praying, Lord, let this buy us some time, just buy us some time until we need to get out. But if we need to leave here, let it be so obvious. And then the pipe burst in the kitchen. I was like, all right, praise the Lord, we're moving. And I just instantly went from that like depressed and distraught and this heavy burden to this excitement of, okay, it's time, we're getting out of this place. Because I hated being in that neighborhood. I hated being in that house. So yeah, from that moment on, I was so excited. So we had to find a place really fast because we had no water and no money. And so we were able to find an apartment, and I only looked at really one place because I knew where I wanted to go, and it was all based on location. I wanted to go up here to University Oaks, which it's not a good apartment complex. There's like nothing appealing about that other than the fact that it's in the middle of everything. It's just over half a mile from the hall, which was a big seller for me because I don't always have reliable transportation, and I can't drive. It's close to work. It's close to schools and parks and libraries, and the location is just amazing. And so that's where I wanted to go, because I'm pretty adaptable, and I could live anywhere. Like, I'll find a way, and so yeah, so we applied there, and the background check, my background check came back fine. My dad's background check came back fine, but apparently Josh had some felonies out that no one knew about. But it turned out they weren't his. When the report came back, it had a picture, and the ladies in the office are looking at the picture and looking at him, and they're like, "This isn't you. We don't know. We don't know what happened here." They put in the Social Security, but it obviously wasn't him. So then there was, okay, are we going to get this report back in time so that we can move in? We were trying to move in by that Thursday, because they were going to give us $300 off of our January rent if we could move in by that Thursday. But that kind of started to delay things because they said it could be a couple of days. And this was like, this was on like the Tuesday. Uh, so yeah, I had people praying specifically for that. Thursday morning, we get the call. They were able to override it. We could sign a lease that day. I was able to get some funds to, for all the move-in stuff. We didn't have any deposits on our utilities, which was great. Yeah, so that was all really blessed. We got we were able to sign a lease on an apartment. One of the things, and this is kind of, the Lord knows what you need and what your heart's desire is sometimes before you even realize it. And I was talking to Rosalie about this. So when we went to apply, we told them we wanted a bottom floor apartment because of my dad. He has a hard time going upstairs and moving around and stuff. And they said they had 2 that were coming available, or that were available. They just needed to be cleaned. But then by the time we signed our lease, they weren't going to be ready in time for us to move in. And so we had to opt for a top floor. And the daughter side of me, I know my dad needs to stop driving. It's not safe for him or anyone else. And I've been wrestling with that, not that feeling of, I don't want to be the one to take his freedom away and his independence away. But this kind of forced our hand. And so that part was good, but what's also really, really good is I really like having a balcony. I mean, it seems like such a small thing, but I can just see myself, sitting at a little table out there with my Bible and a coffee and spending some time with the Lord out there. And if I was on the bottom floor, I wouldn't have that. And then if we had been on one of the bottom floor apartments, it would have been in the middle, but now we're on the end. And so that's, I mean, they seem like small things, but they feel like really, really big blessings to me. Yeah, there were some more. Oh, what else happened? Okay, selling our house. So we were scheduled to close. Well, first, I had a price range I was asking. It wasn't a lot, but different people put value in different things, and that house wasn't worth a lot to me. It's going to be worth a lot to the people who fix it up and make a killing on it, but it wasn't worth a lot to me, because that's not where my treasure is, and so I just wanted to sell it. I didn't care if I was losing a lot of money on it or if I could make more. I wanted to not have to deal with it anymore. I needed the stress to be gone, and I needed to fully put that life behind me and move on. And so my realtor is actually the one that bought it, her and her boyfriend. And it was kind of like gave me uneasy feelings at first, because of course they offered me my bottom asking price of my price range. Because when I mentioned to her what I was wanting to sell it for, I had no idea that she was a potential buyer. So that kind of set me off a little. But then I let her know, how I was feeling, and they went up some. So I was like, okay, that's fine. I can live with that. I'm still putting it behind me. But then we had a couple of hiccups where, so we were supposed to close on the 12th, which was Thursday. And then like Tuesday, I think it was, someone from their lawyer's office contacted me, and there were a couple of things that came up when they were researching the property that were very, very urgent and had to be taken care of like right away. And so I had some people praying specifically for these things, because it could have delayed our closing, and I didn't want it to delay our closing. And yeah, so that was Tuesday. By Wednesday, one of them was completely taken care of. And then by Thursday morning, the other one was completely taken care of. So we got to close on time. And Yeah, so it's just I could see where the whole process was so blessed. And I was really worried about the kids moving schools because it's really hard to think about having to uproot your kids and the only life they've known, and all their friends and everything. And we were wanting them to go to Alps Road because it's closer. But there was potential that they were going to have to go to Oglethorpe because some of the kids in the neighborhood had to go to Oglethorpe. But they got into Alps Road. So I was like, praise the Lord, they got into Alps Road. So that was another thing. And I'm sure there were a lot of other like small parts along the way, but I just really want to praise the Lord for just blessing that whole situation. I think between me and Josh, we both feel so much more hopeful, and so much more joyful about our living situation. And yeah, so anyway, I just praise the Lord for knowing, what we would need and what would really make the transition easier, and for just being there every step of the way. And yeah, so